collectors. Today we will be talking about Marvel Legends X-Men Professor Xavier. So here we have Professor Xavier with a lot of accessories. The two halves of his chair, the floating bottom, the back seat, the cushion, all the goodies, extra head pieces. So let's look at the top. We get the X-Men symbol. On the bottom we get lots and lots of words and the UPC code. On the side here we get the Professor Xavier with his little psychic blast looking into the future. On the side, same picture. On the back we get some product shots of Professor Xavier in the chair in his now famous psychic room, and we get this little blurb about Professor Xavier. On this side we get the product shots. On this side we get Deadpool. Marvel Legends Hasbro. Attention, don't do anything that you shouldn't do. So now let's get it on the scale and see how much it weighs. Okay, Professor Xavier is coming in at 1 pound, 4.4 ounces. So let's get him off the scale and out of the box.
Hey, open, damn it, open!
To get him out of the box, all you'll simply do is cut the one piece of tape right here and open him up like so. And we can pull down on these tabs and then pull this tab. Grab the piece of plastic and pull. Then we can take this and put this over here for the time being. And we can take a look at this beautiful backdrop. We see the 1997 X-Men comic, or the cartoon. We have Gambit, Beast, Jean Grey, Jubilee, Storm, Rogue, Wolverine, Cyclops, and Professor Xavier. That is very nice back piece indeed. Now we can take this and put this over here. Definitely will be used as a backdrop. And we can then take a look at Professor Xavier. Now, this piece fell out while I was doing it. But these pieces simply do come out. Oh, little plastic. No snippy clippy songs really needed. This piece over here is got a clip on it, but thanks to the modern science of figuring it out, we can figure it out. Take this piece. This also fell. It was right there. And then pull that out. Once again, one clip, but we can just go to the bottom and bypass that altogether. And we get this piece here. Just push on these outline pieces. And we can see the helmet just came off, which it does plug just right in. But you can have the helmet with or without the psionic effects. We get this head. 10 points if you know who this is. And now we have all these done for. We'll put the piece of plastic over here for later review. And we get this Charles Xavier. Looks like he's doing the dance. Now this Charles Xavier did not come with any extra hands. However, since this is a Marvel Legends, any of those other hands that are this width and this color can fit in his hands or his arms to change his thing. Now, Charles Xavier is bald. But here we have a nice looking Charles Xavier with a tie. Coat opens up. We see his shirt and pants and his shoes. Now, if you were in this chair, wouldn't you take the opportunity to, just wear some shorts or something, and some flip-flops or something like that? Nobody see your feet. I mean, yeah. Oh, let's look. See right there? You can wear shorts. Free up some room there. Charles, not so heated. Don't get those sweat ups. You know? But the figure itself can look up, down, right, and left. Can do this much of a T-pose. His top of his shoulder here catches on the jacket. You can bypass some of that and do a different pose, but straight up like that. But he has a bicep swivel, double bend in the elbows. What did I have for dinner last night? We have the thinking, or the get away from me hand. On the other side, we have the I'm using my mental powers. Then he has his waist bend here. Not so much back because of the coat, but he can at least do that much. Spins at the waist. Does a pretty good split, even though the coat here cuts it off. Forward and back, even though he can't walk. We have a thigh rotation, double bend in the knee. Ankle on a pivot. And it goes forward and back. And that is it. Now he does have a hole for the stand, even though he's going to be in the chair. Now to get him in the chair, you can just go ahead and put him in there. But first, you want to take the back piece here. And then just roll-a-doo, dooba-doo, right there like that. Then take this piece here, and you'll notice there's a hole. You can then take this piece and push it in. And then we can set Charles there. Now he also has this piece here. So you just line up everything in the back and on the side. And then that. Now you don't have to have him in the chair. I'm just doing that for your benefit, so you can see that he can go in during that time. But simply all you do is just basically line these up here like so, and then close it on in. That's it. You can then take this, put it like so, so we can spin, rotate and span, chief. Now this is his leg piece here that you can put in here to keep his feet warm or something like that. These side panels here rotate out, so he has his trackball and his keyboard, a little monitor, which is better nice. Very cool effects. We'll put in there like so. So we can just put him back in there like so. And put his shawl back on. Kind of helps to get him situated in there so he doesn't rotate back and forth, to tell you the truth. It's kind of nice. Now I wish they did give us an extra hand or two. That would have been very nice. But they did not. So he's forever doing this, or wherever you have the hand. It just looks kind of silly, to tell you the truth. Now you can put on his thinking cap, his Cerebro helmet, made famous by the movie. And you can have him wear it, or then have the psionic effects on there, and then have him really thinking about what he wants to eat tonight. All right, he's got a little sinus pressure in the front. You know, but there we go. There's a very good looking face. I like that. I just wish you could build the rest of the body. But anyway, very cool looking Charles Xavier. And I think he will look nice with all the other X-Men on the shelf. And once I get those shelves cleaned off and everything, because I am finally back into my space, we'll finally get a good look at that and do maybe a tour room. But until then, remember to like, subscribe, and keep collecting.